Hi, it's Yannick. I hope you're doing well. In today's video, I'm going to show you a concept that I personally use a whole lot, in my own practice. For the past few years, it's helped me improve my attacks and my articulations. Now, I'm not talking about my body's joints, because as you get older, those don't really get any better, but rather about articulations in music. Joking aside, it also helped with my rhythm, phrasing, dexterity, and all that. And this, I didn't come up with it myself. I got it from a great saxophonist, a teacher from New York. These are things I've seen come up quite often. So I thought it might be interesting for you to know what it is. And it's really a way of practicing that I never would have thought of myself. On my own. And I just tried it out, and it really works. And by the way, you can apply this to anything you're practicing. And what it will also do, which I haven't mentioned yet, but it's very important. You know there are some passages on the saxophone that are a bit more complicated, technically speaking. I'm talking about going from C to B, or from F sharp to F, because those are fingerings that go like this. You see, you really have to lift one finger and press down the other at the same time. And often, it messes up. Often, it'll end up sounding something like this. Here, I'm exaggerating, obviously, just to show you, but it's very common, especially when you're just starting out, and even when you're not. Because honestly, I'm telling you, it still happens to me, and how I fix it is with the method I'm about to show you in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. So, what is it? It's playing legato. And now, before you take off and start saying whatever comes to mind, listen to me, buddy, it's really, really important that you do this, and here's why it works. Because it exposes your mistakes. So, let me explain. For example, if I play CB and I attack the notes, it'll be much easier and it'll sound a lot better. So, if I play CB, attacking the notes, it goes like this. So, you see, I have no problem at all. You can really hear every note. There's no sloppiness, no PRA. But on the other hand, if I do it legato, and I do it just as fast, well, it's not that bad, let's be honest. But you know, the transition from C to B, since I've been playing for several years, I've probably done it 14 million times. So I hope I do it better than you, if you're just starting out, or if you've only been playing for a year. However, there is a way to boost your results to help you fix this as quickly as possible. Try to make it smooth. Why? Because it exposes the flaw. Let's say I have a problem and it messes up. What am I going to do? I'm going to do it smoothly, but extremely slowly. Let's say I set a metronome to 50 to 60, so tack, 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 and play quarter notes over that. By doing this over and over, you'll realize that it's like your attacks. The attacks you make with your tongue, with your mouth, will become what you do with your instrument. You see here, I can hear them, the attacks. You hear the sounds the saxophone makes. Mine makes a bit more than others because it's old. Okay. So that's what you need to develop. So by doing it legato and doing it, especially very slowly, you'll correct those micro errors, those tiny slips where your fingers don't quite land at the right time. And here, I wrote out a bebop line for you that actually exists. Probably, but I had it in my head, so I wrote it out again. And it's fun to learn too, because it's a 2-5-1 in C major 7. So we've got D minor 7, that's the 2, G7, the 5, and C major 7, the first degree. So here, it's really a line that you can use later on, if you want, as a lick in your improv. And I chose this line because, precisely, I included some challenges that are specific to the saxophone, I think. I'm talking here about, at the end of the first bar, there's AC that goes to AB, so that's the resolution from a 7th to the 3rd of the next chord. By the way, it's also very important to know, if you don't already, that going from C to B is a challenge. We just saw that together, so that can be a problem. Next, the other spot. Between the A and the A flat and the G. Anyway, I've often experienced that myself. It seems like sometimes your pinky just freezes up, and it can really mess things up too. So that's also a good spot to work on, let's say. And once again, in the third bar, you have AC, AB, and AC, and AB. So it goes CB, CB. So that's really what I want to emphasize with you today. So how are we going to practice this line? If we do it extremely slowly, you really need to play it legato at first. Trust me on this one. After that, everything will be easier. Honestly, I've experienced it myself. I didn't believe it. I tried it. I told myself, I'll give it a shot. There are some great saxophonists who talk about this. So it can only be a good thing. So I tried it. And sure enough, it works. Because afterwards, when you start working on attacks and phrasing, it's really, really easier since you've already sorted that out. The dexterity issues, if you will, on the saxophone. So I'll play it for you once at 70, all slurred. Now, there's nothing stopping you from doing it. Swing if you want, same idea. Here, it's at 70. When you're comfortable, you can bump it up a little bit, 72. Basically, you increase by steps of 2 to trick your brain. If you're solid at 70, you go up to 72. You won't even notice. If you jump from 70 to 90, it's going to be tough. Unless it's still really easy for you, but what I suggest you do, and I do this myself, is to increase by very small increments. Going up by 5 works too. But by 2s, it's even more subtle, so it'll get easier and easier. So 72, 74, 76, and so on. Let's say if you've got it at 70, that's good too. If you do it with a swing feel, that's cool too. And that's where we're going to incorporate attacks and articulations. So here, this video isn't a tutorial about articulations and attacks, but I'll give you an example in a few moments. That said, when you move on to attacks, you shouldn't have any flamming issues. As you can see, I did it as best as I could, but I don't think you can hear any pap, pap, pap between the doubles here in particular, and between the flat and the G. So that's super important. If it's not clean already and you add the attacks, there's really no benefit to practicing that. But honestly, for those who haven't left the video, the real ones, let's just say there are a lot of tourists on YouTube, thank you. A little like please, it would really help me out. And I really encourage you to do this. I'm telling you, for me, this really improved my playing. I'm not talking about 15 years ago, I'm talking about the last 5 years. I started practicing a bit more again, and I really made it a habit to connect everything when I play. Then, when I add my articulations, it's honestly super easy. For example, if I leave it at 70 and phrase it as if I were phrasing with attacks, like I was playing in an improvisation context. You can even turn on the metronome. Now, if I tried to speed up the tempo while adding attacks, it might sound like this. Here, you see, I'll keep it at 70, but I'll set my metronome to beats 2 and 4. So that'll give me an actual tempo of 140. If you want to learn how to do articulations and attacks on the saxophone, I invite you to check out the video right here. I'll see you again very soon. Take care.